Hey, Tracy.
Hey Mary, how are you?
I'm all right. It's a long week. It's only Tuesday, and yesterday was a holiday, but that's all right.
I know the feeling.
So, anyways, let's wait a minute or so and see if anybody jumps on. But in the meantime, do you have any questions about anything?
Yeah, I know the new brochure and catalog start tomorrow. Do they start at midnight at
That's a
Mountain
very good
Time?
question.
I looked online and it just said September 4th and it didn't have
I
a time.
I believe midnight, but I'm
Okay.
not 100% sure of that, and I'm not sure even where I saw it, or
Okay.
I'm assuming that. Um,
Because yeah, I always felt like the annual catalog was like
Mid-afternoon,
two.
right?
No, I always thought it was in the middle of the night, but it was like 2 a.m. Mountain Time, but like 4 a.m. our time.
Up on this sheet. I don't think so, no, it doesn't show it on the product release strategy. I'm counting on it happening at 2 a.m. our time,
Okay.
midnight
Okay.
Mountain Time, 2 a.m. our
Okay.
time, and planning to set the alarm. So I've made a list because I'm purchasing for the Creative Escape weekend. I'm going
Oh.
rogue. I'm going rogue and purchasing. Don't tell anybody yet. Well, you can tell Jay.
You know this is being recorded, right?
Yeah, but nobody else is. Well, Christina's going. Anyways, you people will find out. I guess that's the glory of showing up, right? But for the Creative Escape weekend, I'm going to purchase the Reindeer Memories kit for everybody. And they can do their kit as is, but for people who don't want to do the kit, I'm showing them how they can use the stuff to make cards
Oh, there you go.
to kind of cover both bases, because I know there's a group that count on this to make their cards, or at least some of their cards. And Wilhelm, or and Rolfus's group, Joyce Wilhelm, that group. What was the other group? The Carriers usually make those cards, but they also do a lot of scrapbooking. So I can't say they always do the cards. I think they do.
I think they do, or some
Okay.
of them do at least. I know at least the two
Yeah,
sisters do.
right.
I feel like.
Um, and I think their mom does too. I'm not so sure about Jean.
That's what I was gonna say. I
Um,
wasn't sure about Jean and her daughter Amy.
yeah. So anyway, so I'm going to try and cover everybody with that, but I haven't, hey there, Holly,
Hey,
but I
Allie.
haven't figured
Yeah.
out how I'm like, because then do I make up kits for everybody? Because when they see it, they might not want to do cards, they might want to do the script. So I think I'm going to prep everything and see if you want to. I have like all the card bases and envelope. I don't know. Can't haven't. So if you have a good idea for that, let me know.
Okay, I'll think about it.
I'm trying to think through that. That's the only hiccup I have in offering that. Hey, Holly.
Hey, I tried 4 different Zoom links until I'm like, okay,
Oh,
none
yeah.
of them are working. So I went over to the Mary Business Builder. Oh, a special one.
It's a
Okay.
special one. Okay, I was hoping everybody would see that, but you're one that just goes by the calendar. You know
Yeah,
what
because
it
yeah,
says.
because I have it on my Google
Yeah,
Calendar and I
that's
have each
probably
separate link there. I'm like,
probably
she's
for you.
on. I'm bound to find it at some
Yeah,
point.
and you did, and you did. So who's excited for tomorrow?
Me?
Yes. I had to think for a
Who's
second. What's
feeling
tomorrow?
overwhelmed? Have you made your list? Um, and checked it twice. I've started my list and need to check it twice because I'm ordering for a class, I'm ordering for Creative Escape weekend, and I'm doing some ordering for myself. So
Holy
I'm
mackerel.
a little overwhelmed because there's just so much. And especially the two-tone card. I mean, I'm going to buy one of each of the workshop kits, but for myself, and I'll buy the stamp sets also for them because I want a good idea of like sizing and different things that, and if they would work for showing cards. Because I'm going into this, and you can tell me what your thoughts are. You might be doing something completely different. I'm going into this with the thought that any scrapbooker can do the layouts, whether you're new, have a little experience, or you're avid and you just want to throw the directions away and do your own thing. And then adding in, if you really like the kit and you like the stickers and the ephemera sheet, what all the extras are that come with it, what else can you do with it? Make 3D items, a collage, cards, that sort of thing. So that's what I'm planning to do with the kit, although that makes me think maybe I should be buying 2 of each. I better get some good rewards. So I'll be using rewards for my stuff. Yeah, for the class and then the rewards. And for the Creative Escape weekends, I order, but I pull from that to and use those rewards. So it goes right back into, so Creative Escape dollars go right back into, so I can get some better pricing overall. But yeah, I'm a little overwhelmed. So that's the way I'm going into this, thinking about those. But I really, really, really want to start the collection of two-tone cardstock as well. And because people may not want a scrapbook, but they might be interested in the two-tone cardstock for their cards or 3D projects. Do you ever have like a 3D project and you're like, oh, this is the perfect DSP for it? But then you realize when it's open, maybe you don't like that print as much, or it's upside down when you finish it on the inside, something like that. So I thought this could be a really big thing. So, Tracy, I have not yet heard a specific number for the weight of that cardstock. I know you chimed in last week.
But it's definitely lighter than the regular
But I
cardstock. Yeah.
talked to somebody and they said definitely lighter than our cardstock, even more like the DSP, but they wouldn't go so far to say it's as thin as the DSP. So I don't know. But if they're printing it on both sides, that's how they're getting the different tones. You would think it could be that thin. So we will see very soon. So what are your thoughts? Or what are you looking forward to in either the mini, the scrapbooking brochure, and there will be 2 new kits, online kits tomorrow as well. And we've been told that they will be Christmas kits. I have no idea beyond that what they are. So
Yeah, I just put my order in from the pre-order a couple of days ago and I saw it shipped today. And yeah, the thing I was most excited about in the catalog, I think one, that these little guys that you can do
Okay.
so many
Mhm.
interesting dies with.
Those are dies, right?
Yeah, those ones are the dies. Plus there's stamps for it too.
So you can do
And
lots of layering.
and I think my whole favorite thing in the whole catalog is this silly ribbon with the little pom-poms on it. Do you know which one?
What page is that? I don't think I
This-
even looked at that.
Yeah, this
It
is
goes with the one
page,
with the penguin.
yeah, it's page 32
Of
and
course
page
you know about that
33.
one, Tracy.
And it's called Pool Party Pom Pom Ribbon.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
you
so
said 33?
yeah. Yeah, page 33, so you can see it right there.
Never even noticed that. And I don't know why, because it's part of the suite. Oh, I didn't pre-order that suite. I don't know if I'll be getting it or not. It is
Yeah.
really cute.
But yeah,
It
I
was
didn't
back
get the suite.
ordered. It
Oh,
was
is
one
it?
of the suites that was back ordered
Oh, really?
within the first, yeah,
Because
because when I went to pre-order, it was gone.
what
But the-
product?
That suite.
I mean, but what, is there only one product in there that's holding?
Oh,
all
at the
yours?
time, I can't remember now if it was, I want to say it was either the stamp or the dies that
Oh,
were out, and they were going to be back in. They are back in, well, they are right now, as I know. They were back in at the end of August. So I
Okay.
did end up getting them, but I don't know if they were just that popular
yeah.
with the demonstrators, or they didn't have as many. They didn't think it would be as
Oh.
popular, and then a lot of demonstrators loved it. So
You don't know. And I
no,
love
you
it,
don't.
but thinking about classes and other things, I started thinking a different direction. But then, of course, I get started on those and I come back
Yeah.
to other, whatever.
Hmm.
And this is totally random, but it just popped in my head when you said
Yeah.
you didn't know about how many that you ordered, they ordered, whatever. I got a little more information on the haunted house kits.
Yeah.
They ranked in whatever survey they, threw out to whatever demonstrators. That actually ranked low. And they still believed it was going to be a big seller. So they like several times over purchased what the survey told them.
Mm-hmm.
They had a fancy word for it, but like they ordered like 3 or 4 times what the survey told them, and it went that fast.
Best.
And when they saw it going that fast, they immediately put in another order, but unfortunately can't get it until November. They did go on to say, and somebody made a really cute, like, oh, Tracy, this would be good for the Snowy Wonder. Made a really cute, like they put the inside out. So
Yep,
the
a lot of
brown
people have
side
been
on the
doing that.
outside. Oh, like darling things, like a gingerbread house or a house covered in snow. So like fabulous. I love it when other people think of stuff like that because I can't. I don't. Um, so so that's a way, something to tell your customers to look for that. And you can maybe even direct them, or you can make one yourself and show them if you like. But they did say they would be selling those kits through next Halloween of 2025. So that's a good thing. And because they're cash and carry, I don't know what people will do, when they first come back in November. Will they purchase them and offer them for gingerbread house kits, or will they stockpile some for next Halloween? I don't know. That's a lot of stockpiling. I plan to buy some because I do think I can sell them no matter what, but I can't buy 60, I don't sell that many classes. Not those high numbers. But they assured us people would have multiple opportunities to purchase the haunted houses kits for Halloween 2025. And then somebody said, well, it could be a Valentine house. And, some of these people go crazy. I'd say, let them. It's, and I'm happy to direct people that way. Yeah, you could buy your cardstock and your kit from me, but go ahead and take that Valentine house idea from somebody. I don't care, and they don't either if they're putting it out there on social media. So,
Problem is that those things are so cute, but I've bought, which I think you did, Mary, the witch's hat and the trees at one point. They're just so hard to store
they're hard to store.
because
Yes.
you can't collapse them, you can't,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I do love that kind of
And
stuff. I
at
just
my
hate buying
age,
it
I'm
now
trying
because
to-
I'm like,
Yeah, I'm trying to pare down and get rid of things. I'm like, oh, I bought 2, thinking
Mm-hmm.
See if each of the girls would like it. And Aunt Emily was up in Columbus this weekend, but she stayed at her dad's. I did see her quite a bit because we were at Andrea and John's most of the weekend. But so I didn't get to show it to her, but Andrea and John and Riley stopped over here a little bit ago for a few minutes. And it was on the kitchen counter, and Andrea's like, oh, that's cute. Is that Stampin' Up? And I said, yeah. And I said, and it sold out so quickly, but I got 2. So and then she got kind of distracted by Riley. So I don't know if she heard me say, you're welcome to have that one if you want, but I'll have to ask her. But, I feel like Riley needs it, but
Of course,
Riley's
yeah.
not going to play with it. It's going to be up somewhere for them to look. So I don't know. So we'll see. But that is the latest update on the haunted house kit. So I do feel they're trying to make it right. But when they said and I don't know number wise what it was, but when they said they just couldn't believe the survey and they went with their
Their
own,
gut.
their own person's gut or their committee's gut or whatever, and ordered way beyond that. And they said still they were stunned. So
Yeah.
it's what it is.
There's a lot of people who love Halloween and
Yeah.
and the things that actually decorate their houses. Maybe Halloween cards, yes or no, but I think all the decorative items people go nuts for.
I think you're right about
Mm.
that. And as my kids were growing up, I did Tracy, you probably saw a lot at my house of the Halloween decorating and the pumpkins and the witch's brew. And I had Halloween frames with their pictures from different years. And I started thinking the other day, I need to repurpose those, take those old photos out and put Riley's in. I don't know if the kids will like that or not. I don't know. But yeah, maybe you're right about that. So, because there's been a lot of brouhaha, no pun intended, um, or pun intended, I don't know, that there wasn't enough Halloween stuff. So, but I think, and they kept saying, what there will be a scrapbooking kit, there will be more DSP. So, I don't know if that's enough to satisfy people. Tracy, what are you looking most forward to other than Snowy Wonder? Have you got your eye on anything else?
No, not really. And for I don't know, nothing really caught my eye in this
Mhm.
catalog. I did get the trees just because I thought they would be easy.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but nothing like just like stood out. I don't know if a lot of it's things that I've been a demonstrator so long, so I've seen a
Mhm.
lot of it, and
Mhm.
it's just kind of replay stuff. And then like I showed I brought my catalog to my last class because I didn't have they weren't in yet.
Mhm.
Just for them to look through it and get a feel. And some of them, they liked a few things, but they were like,
They weren't like,
it was so,
wow, this was the best
yeah, it
ever.
wasn't like, oh my God, kind of thing. So,
I
but
can
they've been with
honestly
me
say I
for a
like a
while
lot.
too.
Uh-huh. Oh,
And,
yeah, definitely.
yeah, and a lot of them are like, we have a lot of like stamps already. So I think some of them are, even in the annual catalog, they're just getting tired of all the stamps and, they just want the paper and like the designer series
Oh,
paper and things
okay.
like that. Cause they're
Interesting.
like, I have sentiments. Why do I need to
You
buy
don't need
more
more. And
sentiments?
I do think that's true. Um, as the longer our customers have been stamping, um, and purchasing Stampin' Up! Products and how much they've accumulated, and then their age plays into it.
Mhm.
Like I told Andrea the other day, I said, I really should take a week off from my Stampin' Piece business and just go through my house. I need to get rid of stuff. I need to sell stuff. I need to, I so want to pare down. Um, and I think a lot of people feel that way when they have accumulated so many stamp sets and punches and dies, because
Mhm.
those people are going to use those over and over. They bought them because they love them and
Mhm.
intend to use them for the long term. Um, but I'd like to hear that they're still wanting to buy cardstock and DSP, those
Yeah.
other things from you. Otherwise, we'd be stuck, right?
Yes,
But that,
exactly.
but that's because you show them so much.
Mhm.
Um, and I think it was a great idea that you took your copy for them to see, even though yours weren't in yet. I think that's great. And then when they do get theirs, they'll look at it again and maybe they'll notice something else that didn't catch their eye
Yeah.
the first time. Um, but it also shows why we need to continuously invite new people into our circle,
Hmm.
and that's the hardest part, isn't it? Getting people,
Yep.
um, whether it be, well, number one, other customers and um, welcoming people on our team as well. Um, and I think, I've read in the leaders group. That's another thing I need to do. I've been very um, emotional, I'll say, lately. And I said to Andrea, I said, I also need to cut out any social media. But I said, I can't do that because then I wouldn't be doing my business. So I'm trying to be real cognizant of what I am, real conscious of what I am looking at on social media. Um, there's so much negativity out there and it's going to get worse with the election but
I,
in the
Mary,
stamp.
I was reading a thread that I saw that you posted on a thread about workshops and the demise of workshops and the hostess gifts. And I actually read through it, and I rarely read through all sorts of comments because, like, I don't, most of the time people don't know what they're even talking about. So for me, I skip it. It's just like, whatever. But I read through it because I was very curious to see, because the person who'd asked the question was kind of like, hey, what are your ideas for how we can deal with the hostess issues and blah, blah, blah. And it was like, I wasn't surprised about how many negative comments were in there, and I'm separated away from enough from it because that's not my business. I don't run my business that way. I have so little business, I'm not too worried about it. But, I can see what you're saying, that there's a lot of, or the negative Nellies are loud. There may not be a lot of them, but they're
That's a
loud,
good way
and
to say it.
yeah,
I
and
never
it's,
thought about it, but you're right. Maybe the number is just those are the ones that are most vocal.
yeah, because
I
a lot
don't
of
know.
times
And
you'll see it's the same people over and
yes,
over again.
and
I really see
I
that
want
here
to
at our
say
lake.
to
There's
them,
about
"Why
1 to
do you work in your
3% who are,
business and
yeah, bitch, bitch,
uh,
bitch.
complaining all the time?"
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I really like the way that woman worded her question. She
Mm-hmm.
was looking for solutions. Tracy, that's just like when it first came out. We talked about your thought was, okay, we know this is going to happen. What can I do about it? And I think that's what she was asking, and it completely goes the other direction. And that's not helpful to her or anybody else that had that same question.
Because I read through it hoping to see,
Did you?
even though, because I think hers was for clubs, but I thought, oh, I'm curious to see, like what people say, and maybe someone would ask about a workshop or someone would throw in, hey, this is what I'm going to do for my in-person classes. And yeah, most of it's just negativity.
It
And
was-
I like to read it. I don't, just because sometimes I think it's funny
Hmm.
to see the stupid things that people have to say,
No,
and that they
sometimes
don't
I
like,
just like want to bang my head on the table. Isn't that
and that
terrible?
they don't answer the question. Like, I'm
Yeah,
like that is so not anywhere like near like
right.
the
Exactly.
answer, or like even the topic. And I'm just, sometimes I just have to stop because I get into a little hole and I'm like, okay, I just have to
Yeah.
stop
And
reading them.
that's what I have found that, and I honestly, Stampin' Up has recognized that of leaders. A lot of us are not going. A lot of their top leaders are getting tired of going there. So it's not serving the purpose it was meant to serve. And Jackie Bolhuis and I talked about this quite a while back. I don't remember if it was at onstage. I think it was backstage last year, maybe. And we have the same feelings about it. And I said, yeah, I just gotta like skip over there or not go. And then when I thought about it more, I said, but really it'll never stop until people like us do jump in and put the positive spin on things. And you see
Yep.
that occasionally. But then even that person can get, some will chime in then if it's real positive. I try to. It's rare that I bring up something negative or comment on something negative unless I'm trying to put a positive spin on something. Because most of what they're doing is rehashing things we have no control over. And people are going there, the intent was to share ideas and troubleshoot with each other, find resolutions, that sort of thing. So it's not always the helpful place, but I appreciate you guys being so positive. And I know when the host code change goes through, it's not going to be easy for some people. And I do appreciate they are giving people plenty of time to kind of work through that. And in my opinion, the biggest thing that determines our customers' attitudes and behaviors is our attitude and behavior. I 100% believe that. So I don't necessarily get all that negative feedback that they say they're getting. Now, I can't say for sure they're just throwing it out there and being negative with their customers, but I think people certainly read into all of that. And they may not think they're being negative, but somebody else may pick up on that and it just kind of grows.
And I'm
being
still
a-
looking for a solution.
Yeah, and I'm still wanting that solution for you. Oh, and that discussion went on to talk about, well, I'm going to give them this, I'm going to give them that. That is another discussion that Jackie Bolsheis and I have. I have a whole lot of admiration and respect for her. She is right there at the top, number 1 or 2 in every category for the whole world, I think. I think definitely within the US. But she's like, Mary, I rarely give stuff away. I don't believe you have to. She's like, if we're trying to make money from this business, you can do that without giving stuff away. And I always use Target as my example. I shop at Target pretty regularly. They don't give me anything free. I'm not going to go up to the service desk and demand something or say, what can you give me free? Because if I don't get something free, I'm going to Walmart. They aren't going to do that. So why do we do that? And the more that's done, I think it can devalue not only our products, but what we do. And yes, doing that sometimes I think is nice. It's an extra perk of somebody choosing to follow you or shop with you, because they have they have lots of choices of demonstrators. Maybe like I always try to do something at my anniversary, Stampin' Up! Anniversary. And I do the free tax, although I missed it in April. I usually do it around tax time. And Tracy's like, you didn't do it. I was like, oh, so I'll do it in May. It was already May. I hadn't thought of it, but I did that. People appreciate those things too. And sometimes that's more of more value to them rather than a package of dimensionals or a package of embellishments. We try to pick the easy things to send, right? And she and I had that discussion, and she says there are different ways people can give things without it costing them money. And some will say, well, I'm using my Stampin' Rewards, so it doesn't cost me anything. Well, really it does. It does in the long run, because you could be restocking all that cardstock and envelopes and adhesives that you need to keep creating for your Facebook Lives and your class samples and things like that.
And it feels like my reward. It's just like, yeah, that's my reward. I want goodies.
That is the part of your perk for working so hard that allows you to put in an order that gives you the Stampin' Rewards. That is additional income for you. And it's okay to think about it like that. So I have very different feelings about that. I do it very minimally. Like for my anniversary, I did and actually I did it for the April/May thing. I did free shipping on orders of $50 or more. I probably should be doing more like 75, but Stampin' Up! Does that. And I wanted to offer something a little bit more for my customers who don't typically spend $75 at a time. And I have many of them. So that's why I did 50. Free shipping, and I just send them a refund check for the amount of shipping they paid. Or in May, I did buy 2 PDFs, get 1 free. This time I did buy 3 PDFs, get 1 free. And I was very intentional about that because it's anywhere from a $15 to $20 value getting a free PDF. But my intention, and don't get me wrong, yes, I want to make money from all that, but I also want to draw more people to that PDF store. And that's happening. It really cost me nothing. And actually, those freebies that I gave away, the free shipping and the free PDFs, that's all tax deductible. So, there's no money really well, I guess there is for the free shipping. There is some money out of pocket. But in comparison to what I make, my 25% discount plus volume rebates plus rewards, it's worth it to me to offer that once in a while. 2 or 3 times a year max is what I do. And it's great to offer if you're having sort of a low month. As far as the PDFs, and even if you don't have a PDF store, you might say place an order of $50 or more, and I'm going to send you this free PDF for 3 cards. Simple. And they can be cards you've already done. It doesn't have to be, you know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Or if you're getting ready to do a class, you can write a PDF and that can be your freebie. Place an order of $50 or $75, whatever you think is the number that will be good for your group. So many things like that to keep in mind. And I think at times when there's so much new being offered, everybody's like, you know what, there's plenty of customers out there for all of us. And we do our best to advertise, but stick to what's working for you and just keep trying to make it better. And if you want to implement, you know, one of those freebies or do a giveaway, think about first how your business can float that money, so to speak. Where is that coming from? That's like, you know, taxes. Oh, people can get free tuition. No, nothing's free. There are people that pay for that, you know? And I don't want to go into the whole political thing because that's not me, but that's just a simple example. When people say, you know, I want to know, well, how are you going to pay for that? Does that mean I'm paying more taxes for it? You know, think about how it will come from your business. And there's certainly nothing wrong with, I would say, if you have retired product and you want to make an offer and they get something retired free, go for it. It'll boost your sales. Hopefully you'll get some better volume or get more volume rebates, and you're clearing your stash, you know, making room for new. I don't know. No, I'm just trying to clear stash. I'm like, Andrea, you have got to get over here. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is, because so many times I hear people say, my customers only buy what I show. I don't know if that's true. I don't think that.
That's not true.
I don't believe that to be true. There are many times I've held a class back in the day when I did in person, and chime in with this, Tracy, or Holly, if you have a thought on it. There are many times I planned a class, people didn't order anything I showed in the class, or they came in with their own and then changed to some of these things. You don't know. None of us knows what they're going to buy. So when I hear that, I think to me that sounds like putting a lot of pressure on ourselves to buy product that maybe we're not going to use, or to be picking something that maybe isn't our favorite thing, or it's not really our style, but we think they're going to get it. It may or may not be their style either. We don't truly know that. And people like being introduced to new styles and new things. So that may sway their buying. So again, nobody should go into debt over this hobby. Well, I guess if you're just a hobbyist, I guess you do kind of. I mean, I'm not saying you don't want to lose your house over something like this. You don't want to lose your car over this. I get that. But we still all have to be conscious of our spending. Even me with I'm making more money now by selling more tutorials, but I want and need more money. I want to safeguard my retirement, or my years to retirement. So I don't want to think, well, I made that much more in PDFs. I can just buy that much more. And I will never, ever be the person that buys everything. I just won't because I can't use it fast enough. So it doesn't.
Don't say that, because one day you will be that.
That's
You could be
true.
that
They always say
person.
never say never, but
Exactly.
now if I could get it all free in rewards, then I might have it all. But I'm a long, long way from that. What I did want to talk about, so the lesson there is stay in your lane. Do what you find works for you. You might even, if you're stamping with other people or at a class, hey, what are you interested in? What would you like to see at the next class? Or if you're doing a video, Holly, what would be of interest to you? And you don't always have to pick what they pick, but just asking makes them feel valued and appreciated. And then once in a while, you do pick one of those things and show
I
them.
do. They tell me sometimes.
And
It's
see,
kind
I
of
think
nice.
that's
'Cause
wonderful.
I don't
And
have to
it
think
makes
about
it
it. Yeah,
easier. It probably makes it easier for you too, right?
they're like, we need sympathy cards. I'm like, okay, then that kind of steers me to, certain stamp sets or certain colors,
Right.
because you're not going to make a sympathy card probably with too many bright colors because it
Right.
just doesn't look sympathy.
Right. The other thing in terms of, not overbuying, buy what we're going to use and be intentional about our buying, and that can be hard. I've gotten much better with it, but I still find myself at times.
Use one stamp out of every set you buy at least.
Yes. And I have
That's
either
always my goal.
different shelf or stamp sets turned that I haven't used yet when I know I'm going to be like designing the next week. Because I remember you saying that we should use everything we have at least once.
Mhm.
Even
Even if it's just that happy birthday or with deepest sympathy. Like I used one.
Yeah, but again, you're showing one of your favorites. You can talk about it. This is my most used sympathy stamp ever. And I just love it. I think you're going to love it too. Play it up.
And the only reason, Holly, is because I have tons of stamp sets that the rubber ones, especially like that, the little piece of paper
Mhm.
is like not torn off.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
by the way, I'm close to 500 now.
Wow.
I entered some more into my database sheet.
You need to hire Andrea.
I need to find out does she put everything into a database for you to keep track of what you have and what's been sold?
Mm-mm.
Well, I knew you had
She
asked on the
just puts it
Facebook
right
group.
into the Facebook group, the retired product Facebook
Okay.
group I have.
Okay.
And then
So I wasn't sure because I knew
buys,
you had said, I think when you did the last in-person thing with the team, you had asked some people, oh, what did you
Oh.
buy from retired? And I didn't know if that was why, because she kept like an inventory list and wanted to know what.
we go back
had
in.
bought.
She typically will go back in to that Facebook group and either delete or update the number if
Okay.
there were 4 packs of something
Something. Okay.
or whatever. Then she would update the number or
Gotcha.
and we do that as we start pulling. Well, we don't do it when we pull the product, they have to pay and then we limit, but we've got like a little tag that goes on like each person's pile of retired product and do it that way. So
Well, I knew she was
once they-
organized. That's why I didn't know if she had started
Yeah.
a spreadsheet or something.
No, and I'm very visual, so I like it this way. So I can see too. More so than a spreadsheet. So that's the way we do it. And I also want to say, Stampin' Up! Gives us plenty of resources that we can use to advertise products that we aren't buying. And a lot of times, and I'm going to share my screen and take you there because I still have a hard time always remembering where these things are. So hopefully I practiced earlier, so hopefully I'll still remember. I should have written it down. Okay. So let's see here. I do this? No, I can't minimize Zoom. Wait a second. Okay.
So as she's looking, Holly, have you walked by Christine's hole yet?
I went by, let's see, fortunately, I don't even have
Or
to walk. I
driven
can just,
by?
yeah, I have driven by. I haven't seen the fresh hole, but I did see it last week, right before they were doing everything. So
Okay.
yeah, and I didn't have time to drive by. I drove my golf cart to work today. So like, I was gonna like, oh, I'll go that way, but then it's like, nope, I'm running out of time. I need to come home.
Okay, where is it? Come on. Did this last time and it took a bit for it to pop up for me. Come on.
Tracy, thinking about how you said you've got 500 stamp sets now, I guess. Well, I've only been doing this right at 2 years now. And it's like everything's kind of stuffed in a closet right now because I've had multiple rounds of people coming to our house. So it's like tidy up the craft room. And so anyway, I've got these little plastic tubs about yay wide, just enough to be able to stick all the sets and stuff. And I glanced down when I was showing somebody the closet, and it's like underneath this one cart, there's a whole tub of those. And I'm like, I'm so embarrassed. I'm sure I haven't even used those.
Oh, please.
It's like I like to collect. I'm a collector. It's just like yeah, you guys know, you all obviously have the same problem I have. It's like, oh, I see it, I want it, I have to have it.
12 years.
Yeah, wow.
Can you
Oh,
see the screen? Oh, there it is.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So, and I do find that these does this happen to you when you log into the demo site? It takes a
Some-
long time for my blocks to fill in. I don't know why.
I
But
like your little preloaded card. All got 49 items in it.
oh yeah, for classes kind of too.
Shop as you go.
Yeah. Um, okay, so let me think about this. You need to be in demonstrator view. And we're going to go to menu. Then we're going to go to business resources, print lab, and thank goodness for replay because you can stop and take notes if you want or go back, visit, and it's the print and go. And there are lots and lots and lots and lots of different things. There are specific things we should know about our business or we can do with our business, different forms. If you need order forms, you can print them yourself. I usually don't do that.
So, hey, I have a quick question about order forms.
Uh-huh,
Can we no longer order forms?
correct. They're no
Okay.
longer available.
Okay. I must have missed that. I saw it on a thread somewhere.
Yeah. And if either of you needs some or somebody else on the team, I probably still have some.
I still have
I
some.
use them at
I
my
have a
place
ton,
this
but
weekend, and even with that, I can easily switch to something else. But you can print them here. The only thing is you print them here, you don't have the carbon copy to give them.
well, I don't need the carbon copy anymore because you put it in
We're
I
doing
put
it
it in the
online.
customer site anyway.
Right.
But it was just nice. I started tearing mine apart. So we didn't have the carbon copy anymore. Because if they want to keep it, they can keep it. If not, we just recycle it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I have like, a ton of them since I'm tearing them apart, but I guess I must have missed that in
Okay,
one of
yeah,
the
you
updates.
can, they're no longer available to order. If you want to do things with your customers or team events, there's all kinds of stuff here, info for new demonstrators. But I want to go to the section on products. And I find this, well, compensation plan I go to a lot when I'm helping people. Where are you in the plan? And what do you need to do to keep your title, blah, blah, blah. And this is the last month of the Stampin' Up! Year. So we really do need to look at our title and make sure that we are fulfilling what that title requires. Because if we're not, then we will drop down to whatever we are. So that's both 12-month rolling sales and your team. Okay, your downline. So what I want to show you is up here, they have catalog recipes. Okay. So you can go to here and I'm just going to download it, I guess. And it has pictures of all of the samples
Mhm.
in here. You can use their photos. And you could even do like a little, project sheet. Oh, here's the photo. I would put copyright Stampin' Up! On it. And then here's how you can make this, or here are the products that you need to make that. It's really about the products. It's not about the sizes. They're not going to tell you, I don't think on any of them, they tell you, let me get past that.
They do not, unless they change,
Yeah,
they do not,
they
because
do
I've
not.
gone here before to
Mm-mm.
look for
No, it just
the
tells
products they
you
use.
the products. And I do get questions from customers, even team members at times, asking, well, what color is that background? Or I can't find the embossing folder that's shown on that card. And I can go to this spot and find it. Some people print it off. I am not printing 71 pages worth. And I personally don't really use it that way. Most of the stuff I can tell, or I can say, Holly, what do you think this embossing folder is? Is it familiar to you? Or, I can ask somebody. So definitely, let me move this down.
Well, the nice thing is too, though, is it does have a spot where if you can type onto a PDF or convert it
Yeah.
into a Word document, you can type in
Instructions. You can
the
type down
instructions on how to
instructions
make
right
it.
there. And if it uses a specific technique, like this would be like the shadow technique. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Come on, baby. So you could be saying like the die cutting shadow technique, because it's got the white offset behind each of the letters. So Tracy, that's a good point. I overlooked that in saying that. But I really do like this. I think it's very helpful. It typically will show you or tell you what the card size is. So example, and I just realized I said something wrong in my, size wrong in my Facebook Live because I get them mixed up. If it's a note card, the 3.5 by 5 that we buy in a set, it tells you that. Standard A2, and this is where I was wrong. I said A2 when we are A4. A2 is more like European and South Pacific. Theirs is a little bit longer. Their standard card there is a little bit longer. So that's an A2. Whereas,
Hey, Mary,
yes.
can you blow it up just a little bit more?
Oh,
You kind
sorry.
of went.
I went
No,
too
you're
small.
fine.
I went too small.
I mean, it doesn't
sorry.
need to be quite that big, but yes, I couldn't see it at all.
I like it that big.
I like it big too.
Thank you.
So like those note card sets are often A4 size. This time they're A2 size. Okay. That just means they're longer. And the envelopes that come with those will accommodate that longer A2 size card. That's standard other places. And certainly, and it's still one of our standards. It's just not our most standard in the USA card making, Stampin' Up! Card making group. Make sense?
Mhm.
Okay, here's a square 3 by 3. That's cute, isn't it?
Yeah, that is.
I'm looking for, no, I'm kind of mixed up because those longer cards, well, here's no card. You can't always tell from the picture. Now this says A2. So now I'm getting mixed up if we're A2 or A4.
I thought we were A2.
You thought we were A2? Okay, then I said it right in the Facebook Live and I'm saying it wrong here. But
Yeah, I thought we were A2s.
See, I would think, but these I know are longer.
Are they?
Absolutely longer.
Here, Jim.
So I was thinking that's where I got mixed up. They're definitely longer than our standard. So now I really am mixed up. But I like that they give you that. Now this one says A4, and to me it looks like the longer one. But any of them can be adjusted too. Even like this is note card size, the 3.5 by 5. You can use the same layout and same products and make a larger card, or switch it out and make a slimline card, anything like that. Are you
An
looking at?
A2, oh,
Mhm.
an A2 is 4.25 by 5.5.
Okay,
It
so
should-
Yep. Yep, we're A2 then.
okay,
yep.
so I did say it right. And then A4, do you have that?
An A4 is 8.275 inches by 11.69. So whatever 11.69 is in half. Hold it. Because it's not an even number like we do.
Okay. See, I was thinking theirs are like 4.25 by 6.25 or 4 by 6. I'll have to,
So yeah, so so if I guess they typically round up. This is just what AI said, but I guess it's 8.3 inches by 11.7 inches. Is an A4 card.
I think the Memories and More card packs were that size. And these are 6.25 by 4.25. Oh, well. Now I know for sure we're A2 and I didn't make a mistake. But anyways, that's another thing it will tell you. You can print up your own instructions. You can introduce techniques like this one can be, I don't know, ribbon weaving, a new way to use ribbon, alternate ways to use ribbon. And you look at the next photo, there is another alternate. They've got a heat embossing technique there. You may make this, but in different colors and not do the heat embossing. You're just going to do regular stamping on the cardstock. But maybe you want to show that ribbon technique. So they can be very, very helpful. Here's a 4 by 4. Nothing smaller than a 3.5 by 5 can be mailed if you didn't know that, or your customer is asked. Nothing smaller than 3.5 by 5. People will say, like, here's a 4 by 4 square. They'll say, but we can't mail a 4 by 4 card, Mary. Yes, you can. It just needs it to be in our standard envelope. You
Mhm.
can't mail it in a square card or a square envelope without paying extra postage. But you can fit it into any envelope it can go into and send it that way.
Or
Okay,
you can create a little care package and stick it inside the box.
that's true. Or a gift bag. Or baked goodies, all kinds of things. I never did
Exactly.
my baking last week, which is a bummer. Okay, the other thing I wanted to show you, so let's see if I can get out of here. And we'll go on a little bit. They even have sample recipes for the online exclusive. So the samples we see online for those products that are not in any kind of publication or flyer or anything. So it would be set up the same way. All the color coach cards, you know what I'm talking about when I say the color coach cards?
Yep.
Oh, here they are. I knew they were someplace easy to find. That's what they're talking about. And if you want to learn how to cut them up and put them on a ring, you guys know that. You two know that. But if anybody
Mhm.
else wants to know, you can go to stampandpiece.com, search.
And I've got the ready
So-
reference that somebody named Mary nicely gave me.
Yeah, and that's helpful too. But that will show you how to put the color coach cards together. Talks about differences between Stampin' Seal, Stampin' Seal Plus. You can download this about the various adhesives. This I think is kind of handy. Except that, yeah, what I would do is just take, because it's the different languages. So I would take just ours in English and copy and paste and put it on like multiples on one sheet and print it off. That would be a good thing to put like with new catalogs, or if you're like have them out for people to take as a reference, or put it on your Facebook page or whatever. I'll get back there.
Hey, Mary, before I forget, I want you to definitely finish that, but I don't want to forget the question about all the new catalogs that are coming out and how we want to handle them. Since we're not getting actual catalogs, we have to print them ourselves. The digital
Oh,
catalogs
about
for
the
scrapbooking. Yeah, let's
okay,
pop
the
back to that, but
scrapbook,
finish
okay,
this.
we will go back. Don't let me forget. This is handy when new in colors come out. And I guess there's a way you can probably X out the other languages and put your own in, English. But it's just, a piece of cardstock, something stamped from the ink pad and a Stampin' Right marker, check mark or something. It's really something extra, like a bookmark to give to customers, or I shouldn't say a bookmark, a chart that they can keep and really mark what they have. That would be the purpose.
Yeah, I didn't know that existed, so I actually made up my own this year. And
Mhm.
then I'm like, oh,
And
I could have
I
just done
usually
that. Oh,
see 'em
well.
floating around somewhere. I think I've been revising the same one for like, I don't know, 8 years or something. And just photopolymer inserts. Um, if you want to like print your own, like I don't get into that busy work, but it's there for people.
Something like that could be handy if you have some favorite things from like your paper pumpkins or the kits and
Right.
stuff, so you can
Or
store them in
very
there.
old, like the very old wood sets, even, because we never got a picture of that. So sometimes people would copy a picture and stick it in their plastic case. That's way back. That's going way back. Okay, the other thing I wanted to show you is um, happening now. You can go to catalogs and then I'll just go to this one. And there's all the details about the current catalogs. Usually this information is out, I believe, when pre-order starts. I don't think it's before pre-order. And it gives you just, some good, helpful, like must knows, when does pre-order start? When can your customers order? That kind of thing. If there's limits, purchasing limits on the different products. Here they give you get to have a sneak peek of the sticker pages in the brochure, scrapbooking brochure. They will give you information about the cash and carry policy. And then catalog details page. I think this is what I want. Yeah, they're just, sharing with your team, that sort of thing. But you can come down here. This is where you download an entire catalog. You can download and use this just as a simple graphic. And here too. And there are images in here. Let's open that. Maybe. And then this is all of the images in that catalog. So on page 27, you would see this. Okay. If you
I ordered that.
Did you?
I did. The little
too.
deer, the cutout deers
Um,
it was slaying me.
I'm trying to find, oh, let's see here. See, they're so small. This is why I don't use this as often. If you wanted to advertise that 6x6 DSP or that with the die, the bow making die, you can use this image that Stampin' Up! Has created. And I believe we can't just, this says copy image. I don't really, well, sometimes I do for my PDFs. But if I'm putting it like on like a Facebook page or something like that, I oftentimes will put stampinpiece.com. So I might go to PicMonkey or Canva and add that. This does have the Stampin' Up! Logo, so I'm assuming that's enough for copyright Stampin' Up! But I could also put my business logo because it includes that. So that I typically do, but this is an easy way to pull the Stampin' Up! Graphics or the photos for all the samples and different products. You just have to know what page you're on. So if I go back to this tells me it's in September 2024, September to December, page 39. So that's how you would look for it. Whatever page you're on in the catalog, you want to see that. You open the zip file and go through it that way. Okay. Now, there is another way, which I tend to use more often. And I will simply show you that. So any questions about that? Okay, so these are really just downloading these individual graphics to post. This is the whole catalog. This is the zip file of all photos of products and such.
Have they always done the zip file, or is that something kind of new? Because
You know, they always have, but I don't remember it being here. I remember you had to look for it someplace else. And I
Gotcha. Okay,
don't
'cause-
remember that was, but yeah.
Okay.
But it's been around there for quite a while. They've been putting it with the catalog details for quite a while. Of course, you can always pull the photo from the recipes that we saw too, if you're looking that up. I think this is easier than the recipes because when I open it, the picture's larger.
Mhm.
But if you're wanting the recipes and the photos, you got it on the other. Oftentimes what I will do, because for me, it just feels the fastest. Okay, name something.
Reindeer days.
Okay. I spell that right? Okay, so anything with that name or similar will come up. So if I'm doing, say I'm going to do a one sheet wonder, 12 by 12 one sheet wonder, I may not be, this is not going to be my focus for the one sheet wonder. It might be for a reindeer fun card class, but that bundle is not going to be the focus for my one sheet wonder PDF, but this is. So in addition to the final cards, I want to show them, because I start my PDF showing them the whole set of cards. I might want to use this as my second photo right next to it, because that product is the focus of that particular PDF. So I'll just enlarge it. You're going to get better results by clicking this plus sign and enlarging it. Okay. And then I always make sure my cursor is off the photo. Otherwise I'll get that Pinterest save on there, which won't do anything for them because it's just a copy. So then on my computer, I have a Mac, I do Shift Command 4 so that I can do a screenshot of this. And then I'll put that out. Now, if it's on a PDF where it's not like I'm showing this a picture on say my Facebook page, just throwing it out there. If I am like that, I do put my logo on, and not because I created it, but because it has, number one, they can buy it from me, stampinpiece.com, and it has the angel policy, copyright of Stampin' Up. Okay. I just find this way to be easier. You may find the other way to be easier. Figure out what works for you and go that way. And I will add this to PDF. Sometimes I will then have that photo and take it and put into my email newsletter. I can post it, use it in my blog or website. I can use it in my Facebook group or Facebook page, or I might get on Mary Stampers and say, isn't this the cutest? And that's pretty much a private group. It's not going out to everybody, but it's an easy way to pull a graphic. If, say for example, what's this one? Say, for example, I'm doing a whole class around Peaceful Season, and I'm using, maybe just cardstock and embossing folders, maybe some stamps, but the focus is really about these sentiments and the dies that go with them. Then I would do the same thing and do the screenshot. For Mac, it's Shift Command 4, and then just zip, do your thing, and you've got your photo. Or something like this, I would add my logo because it has the copyrighted Stampin' Up! There. So I just try to cover myself as best I can. Okay. So I hope those things are helpful. But I and you can look through, maybe you're just browsing, or maybe you notice lots of demonstrators are, I'm going to unshare, stop share. Yay, got that part right. Quickly, I should say. Got the other part right. It just took me a little longer. So say, for example, you see, somebody else made a great card and you think, wow, that stamp set really is kind of cool. I don't know if I'm going to buy it, but I sure want people to notice that. You can take that photo, grab that graphic from Stampin' Up! Or grab that photo and do something with it. And I don't know, does that help?
Yeah, it does. Gives me
Okay.
some nice,
There's
yeah, I
just-
hadn't quite
that's
thought
what
of doing a couple of those. Yeah.
In a nutshell, I want you to know where you can go for the catalog resources. And obviously those two things, the recipe card recipes and the photos themselves, would be what people are going after to help them in their marketing and advertising, to help them in their social media, to help them maybe even designing classes. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. In fact, when I joined Stampin' Up! And the catalog was thicker and it sold for like $10. Like, I was like, whoo. But it was called an idea book because of all the samples it provided. And at that time, there was an index in the back that would tell you that information, like, the colors of ink it used, the colors of cardstock, what the name of the stamp set was. And that was handy, but they decided that was taking up too many pages. Why should we be paying for that kind of index that we can provide to people, to demonstrators elsewhere, and make room for product? So that's kind of why that went out. But the catalogs were called idea books. Even the little, Tracy, you were around with the little minis, right?
Mhm.
They were called idea books. And, we've talked about this before too, that we really have to sell ourselves and sell people on samples, give them ideas before they buy our products. And once we reel them in and they've been around for a while, they're going to do a lot of shopping on their own. And yeah, they like what I have to say, but it may or may not influence what they're purchasing. Whereas at the beginning, and we're always trying to pull in new customers. I'm right there with you guys. Some people on the team have said to me, but you have so many on your email list. Well, I might have 4,000 on my email list, but if you do the funnel math, and this has been basically true about same numbers with anybody I've trained with stats I've looked up. By the time you get to the bottom of that funnel, your people who are purchasing, it's generally 4%. Who are the like diehard purchasers. Now within the next level, the 16%, they are really close to buying from you. But you think about that, 4% of 4,000 people on my email list, 4,000 would be 10%. 4% would be 400. No, that's not right.
Yeah, 10%
4,400
is
would
is
be
10%.
10%, and 40 would be 1%. And, you know, it doesn't work out that way. So 4% would be, what did I say, 1,600, 1,600. No, it was 160. My brain, 100.
I like Mary's math better.
No, 100. I wish it was the other way.
Mm.
But, you know, that's cumulative. And I don't have 160 people ordering from me every month. I might across a whole year span, but thinking about that, you know, so yes, I'm always trying to find new customers, just like you guys are, just like I did when I was starting my business and had 1 or 2 and then 3. And you have to, because you always, and there's that also that statistic that 10% of all businesses, and I'm not talking just Stampin' Up or just direct sales, but 10% of all businesses lose approximately 10% of customers each year. And I would say that to be pretty true. You know, if I'm buying furniture, well, my house is going to fill up with furniture. I'm not going to be buying it continuously every year, year after year. Or a bicycle. That's a one-time purchase for me. I'm going to have it a long time. So that's a very simple reason why I would leave as a customer. It could be that in direct sales, it could be they've accumulated enough stuff. They don't want to buy anymore. So we want to get those new people in who want some of those scrapbook kits and papers and bundles and things. It could be, and I hate to say this, but it has been true for me many, many times. Losing customers to illness or death. And that has happened to me many, many times. And I have a large number of people, 70s, 80s. And if I don't hear from them a while, I just pop a message. Hey, how you doing? But I always get that little something in my gut telling me, or, you know, asking myself, are they okay? I've lost team members the same. It could be they just decided I don't have any more time. Now I've got 4 kids and I just have no time for stamping. But then we have to say to them, but don't you want to preserve all those memories? But that's the reason people leave. Or they get a new job and it doesn't allow them the flexibility that maybe they had before, or maybe they got laid off from a job or lost a job. You know, they're cutting us out. What we are offering is extra. It's icing on the cake. They don't need anything we're selling. Maybe mentally and emotionally we do, but when when you lost a job, what's the first thing you're going to cut out? Your hobbies, your excursions. So keep that in mind as well. But tonight I really just wanted to focus on helping you think very consciously about your purchases, because I do feel overwhelmed myself, and there's a lot of new coming at us all at once on the same day. So be conscious of your purchases. Do what feels right to you. Listen to your gut, listen to your brain. And, you know, if your brain's telling you this is the time to try something new, let's talk about it and let's do it. But if your brain is telling you, hey, this has really been working for you, stick with it, just keep building on it. Or this hasn't been working, but I can tweak it and make it better. So listen to yourself. And then use the resources Stampin' Up! Has. I think in Stampin' Up, we're constantly producing more and more content, and it's very time consuming. And if we can use some of the resources that Stampin' Up gives us, oh, the videos, same thing, the videos. And I think you can find that in catalog details as well. I'm pretty sure, at least for the annual catalog. Probably the annual catalog, I don't think they would release videos for this catalog until tomorrow. I'll have to double check that. But I like that, throwing out a video, just putting a video on a Facebook page once in a while. But they created those resources. They pay people to make those resources to make our jobs easier. So use them. Don't feel like you're any less or doing any less. No, you're going to work your business whatever way is going to work for you. And if that means you're using more graphics instead of creating your own or purchasing PicMonkey or Canva to create, by all means, do it. By the way, there is a free option to Canva. Andrea pays for the pro, so she does my templates and stuff on.
Yeah,
her.
I've got
I-
Pro. I like
I
Pro.
pay for, I don't know it. I don't use it nearly as much as her. So I went back down to the free version. And PicMonkey is, I was going to get rid of that when I was doing Canva, but I decided to keep it because it's easier for me to, and this may not be true for everybody, but speaking for myself, PicMonkey is easier for me to edit my photos. So sometimes I do create a quick graphic on there, like my 16th anniversary graphic. Super easy. Pick a background, pick a font, and type. Boom, it's done. But that is, I want to say, around $50 for an entire year. So it's worth it for me to be able to edit my photos on that. But you don't, again, you don't have to pay for things to do that. So my friend Anne up in Ontario, she mentioned something. I was like, what is that? She's like, oh, it's an app. That's where I, take a photo and Anne might print. She'll take a Stampin' Up graphic and put her message right on there, type her message on, kind of like Instagram does, and then saves it to her photos and she can use it anytime. But I had never heard of that. So I'm sure there are many more things out there. And I always went for the free version until I needed something beyond that. And then Canva's a good example of me. I dropped down to the free version after doing pro. So those are some helpful ways too. And you can probably even bring up the Stampin' Up graphics on your phone and edit it that way, adding text that way, I'm sure. Don't ask me how, but I'm sure there's got to be a way. So I hope this was helpful. Any questions? Oh, yes. What was your question, Holly?
Yeah, I printed off one copy of the new scrapbooking catalog, and I went out to lunch with one of my friends anyway, and I'm like, oh, did you used to scrapbook? And she's like, yeah. So I was showing it to her, and at the end of her lunch, I was like, would you like to keep that? And she said yes, and I'm like, dang it, is what I was thinking on the inside, because I'm cheap about color printing, but
well, yeah, and I actually printed a second one today. I had my first one, and Tracy, you hate to hear this, but it was single-sided. And I thought, no, the layouts like our mini, when I show it to people, I want to be able to show it that way. So I printed a second copy today, two-sided, but the second side, how do I show it? The second side is upside down.
That's because you have to print it so it flips on the short side. So it
Yeah.
flips like a book.
And I
Yeah.
didn't,
Yeah, that's what you have to,
As I
that's
was
what I
going,
did.
I
Sorry.
never even thought that wouldn't come
Yeah.
out the way I wanted it to, And I was like, I cannot, and you can see there are some streaks and different things where I need to add some new ink. But I was like, I'm not printing that a third time. So Holly, this is what you do. And And I can post the link, I think, here in the group. I think it'll let me do that. But you download it
Yeah,
to
just,
your computer and then share it
yeah, that's
with your
kind of the only,
customers that
yeah,
way.
only thing to do with the digital.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and just tell them, this is a new product line. Stampin' Up! Is not sure which direction they're going to be going long-term. Will it become part of the catalog? Will it become online exclusives, or will they always do a brochure? And because they don't know that, they're giving us just a PDF, and both demonstrators and customers can print the PDF, but they don't publish it for us to purchase and give our customers. Simple as that.
Yeah.
So that's the way I'm handling it. I've already been sending it out as of last week. I'm sure I have it on my website as well. But yeah, just give them a link.
Yeah.
Which
I
again,
don't
I'm-
really want to print out,
But
20
now we've got-
copies of it.
yeah, oh no, I absolutely would not.
Oh.
Now, if somebody asked me, I would say I can sell that to you, and I would, charge a pretty penny for it.
For
I mean,
it.
it's what, 40 pages, 30 some pages? Oh, I guess it's not, well, it's 20, but everything, there's a lot of color,
Mm-hmm.
so that would be expensive to do. But I would just say, I'm sorry, we don't have a publication. I myself had to download and print it, but I can share this link with you. So you can do the same, or you can just keep it and look at it.
Yeah.
Virtually. But it's a lot. We have 2 catalogs now, the scrapbooking brochure and online. It's a lot of places for people to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest and say that's not going to change. That's not going to change. Shopping online is the way of the world now, and we have to go with it. Some of our older customers don't like it. Some of my older customers, though, have embraced it, saying, I want to keep up with the world I live in. And by God, in 80, I don't know, 84, 85, Marjorie has figured it out. So every time I get an order from her, I'm like, Marjorie, you're still doing great placing your own orders. The first time I helped her and she didn't want me to do it, she was adamant. She did not want me to place the order for her. She wanted to learn. So I was on the phone an hour and a half with her. The second time, Tracy, I think we were together the second time. It was like 45 minutes. And the third time she tried, but she didn't order enough for rewards because she couldn't remember exactly how to do that. So we went through it one more time, and it was just quick because she called me when she got to the rewards part. But now I'm like, I want to be just like Marjorie, what I'm paying for, and that's what she said to me. I know this is the way of the world, and I have to, I want to learn it so that I can live comfortably in this world.
Yep.
And I thought, what a cool statement. But I realize it's not for everybody. So, and I do think with our customers, and Tracy, you're already doing this, with our customers having their own account, we can still place their orders for them in their account. They'll have to share their password with you, their login and password. But if they're calling you on the phone, they're giving that freely. And that way it keeps track of all their orders. And when we switch over to the new rewards program, it will track all their rewards that way. If, sometimes I place an order for somebody, I placed it through me and just had it shipped to them. Me as the customer it won't help them in terms of rewards. It was never for people earning rewards. It was, small ones. But when I place it in my name, but then ship it to them, which they were all fine when this host code thing started, it doesn't keep track of what they were ordering. So I kind of was ahead of the game a little bit in my people that want me to place their orders for them. I was kind of ahead and said, and I gave them the reason of, I want you to have an order history. And now Stampin' Up! Is making it that everybody that orders has to have an account, and that helps us in that way too. And Tracy, I think that's what you're doing with your in-person classes, right?
It is, yeah. Well, that's just because it was easy to get it to ship to them.
Yeah.
Is why I started
Right.
doing it.
Right. Another good reason. Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. We went a little bit long tonight. I hope it was
Had a-
worth it for you.
Yeah,
And
def-
if-
I have a thought for next week, or
Mm.
not next week, but the next time. Maybe we could talk about your strategy and other overall good strategies for helping clients be aware of all the online products and how to feature them. Because
Okay.
yeah, it seems, because they're a whole product
Right.
line in a sense, or a
Right.
strategy.
You're
And
right.
and sometimes I think that it does kind of fall between the cracks a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, and I do think that it might be a good idea to be drawing attention to the fact that this is an online exclusive, and get them thinking about, oh, okay, because like that there's multiple ways, the mini catalog, the annual catalog, the online products, and then specifically now, like you said, now we've got the scrapbooking stuff. And
Mhm.
maybe it would be smart not to keep multiple tracks, have them thinking about things in the multiple tracks, not just one big Stampin' Up! Family. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that
No, I
it
think you
should
are
just be
right.
yeah.
I think you are right that we have to point them to the different directions. We have to show them where to go because, again, as of tomorrow, we're in 4 different places.
Yeah.
And yes, everything is online, but we still have 4 different categories, I guess you'd say, or 4 different places people can purchase. So I
Mhm.
think that's a good topic.
Okay.
And I've been trying to be, and a couple of times I caught myself, and there's always demonstrators who watch Facebook Live, always, probably mostly Facebook demonstrators. But I'll say, Tony, I know you're a Facebook or you're a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Quickly, tell me, see if you can find out, is this on an online exclusive or is it in the mini catalog?
Yeah.
And somebody else knows, Kathy Viverka. She'll tell me before I even ask. If she knows I'm hesitant, I think it's an online, I'm pretty sure it's an online exclusive. She'll be on it. She'll check. That's the next comment that pops up. So,
Yeah.
so you're right. It can be confusing for us demonstrators. Of course, it's going to be that much more confusing for customers. So definitely, I will
Yeah.
put that on the agenda for next
Okay.
time. And
Yeah. If it matches up, if you want to wait a while for it, it's not a big deal. It's just an idea.
oh, nope, nope. We'll talk about it and anything else that anybody needs help with. Okay.
Cool, cool. Thank you. Thank you.
All
Lots
right.
of information.
Good night.
Oh, can I ask one quick thing?
Sure.
What's the chatter been on the leaders group for the scrapbooking stuff? Like, are they saying anything that they love in particular that might sell out quickly? I'm
Instructions.
just thinking.
Yeah. Instructions. Just because we got a look at, because there were some errors in that Halloween memories.
Yep.
They were like, this is not the norm. This is a one-time deal because we wanted to put the correct directions in your hands.
Okay.
So we all got to see. I am very impressed with the instructions, the templates, the cutting instructions. Even if it's like your paper needs to be a certain direction, that from
Yeah.
the instructions. Color quality is good, and it's not that light gray printing. So fabulous that they went to black. Most, I would say, are excited. There are still in the leaders group, you get the one discussion was, well, none of my customers are happy about scrapbooking. Well, none of my customers will scrapbook. I can't see my customers scrapbooking. So this is not going to help my business. And one of the reasons they decided to do this product line was they think it can bring in a whole new group of customers for us. Bring in because I think we lost some scrapbookers along the way. We
Oh,
had
yeah.
some kits way back, Simply Scrapping Kits, I think they were called. We had lots of packs of 12 by 12 solid colors. I think maybe at one time, maybe all of them or nearly all of them.
I think all of
And
them when I
we
started.
got rid of that, there was a big upheaval. And, you know, at the time I could understand, but those people went elsewhere. And we want those people back, you know, so I think the timing is good. And a number of people have commented that, but it was intended that we would use it as a tool for acquiring new customers. That's not to say they haven't thought about the fact that some of our card makers may become scrapbookers. And Joyce Wilhelm is an example of, she's the one that got me into the Creative Escape weekends. Tracy knows her. I don't know if you met her, Holly, when you were at the event. She usually comes in October, but not January. But she was a diehard scrapbooker. And then she called me, would I be a Stampin' Up! At her event? And I was doing cards. She said, I love your stuff, Mary. I really do. I love it so much. It's just awesome. I love the design you come up with, but I'll never make a card. I'm a scrapbooker. Well, you know what? Her grandchildren grew up, went to college. No, she has one little one now that she may still be doing it for, but she became a card maker when she was seeing what I was offering and what other people were doing. And we laugh about it now because there was no way I could convince her to make a card. And now for probably at least a couple years, she's had her own card making ministry. Every month she sends a card to the people she knows that are battling cancer. And, you know, so we can never say never.
One
and
day Mary's going to own everything in the catalog.
now you have me stressed. I've already got enough anxiety going. But yeah, so we certainly want to promote it to our current customers. And that's why I talked about that I want to maybe buy 2 kits, because I'll do one, the scrapbook layouts. But the second one, I want to be able to show, maybe this was Tracy and I talking before you hopped on, Holly, because I was thinking about for the Creative Escape weekend. But then for people who are card makers, I want to show them how they can use these kits for alternate things like cards, like 3D items, like a collage, home decor kind of piece. But yes, it depends the way people are looking at it. If they're looking to sell the scrapbooking products to just their current customers, some of them are the ones who are speaking, the ones who are loud, don't see it as a good thing. But again, there are people who are coming in saying, you need to look at it a little differently. One is you can market it to people who are not coming to make cards with you, but maybe have little ones, or who love to travel and they want to make scrapbooks of their travels, that sort of thing. Find ways to use it to pull new people in, but then secondary offer it to the customers you currently have. I certainly wouldn't do one or the other. But that's the majority of what I'm hearing. And when people are saying this is not a good thing for me, the customers are not excited, there are people jumping in saying, you need to look at it differently. You need to consider why Stampin' Up! Chose to. And if they're leaders and they've listened and they've read, they should know this. But
I gotta fly.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Yeah, Holly.
For joining us. So does that help?
It does, but I too didn't know, are they like talking about, like, does one kid stand out to some people more than the other? Like, are
um,
people like gravitating more towards the Christmas, the Halloween, or the fall one? I was just curious about that too.
That I really have not heard much of.
Okay.
And with the long weekend, I really didn't work and I was not on much.
Oh, that's fine.
And I'll try to look at that in the next few days if I go to the leader site. That I haven't heard. I would think Halloween would be super popular because of, but again, it's the loud people. Maybe the loud people is a small percentage, but we just hear them the most. I don't know. But there were a lot of people who were disappointed that there was not more Halloween offerings
Mm-hmm.
in the mini or online. So that may be fall. I feel like printing it out like this, that it's, I'm looking forward to seeing it on the website because I feel like, especially with the busy prints, I feel like my copy's a little fuzzy and even the layout's a little busy, and they're, with them being busy and fuzzy, it's hard for
Yeah.
me to really make out. And Halloween is pretty, to me, yes, it coordinates with the potions and spells, but I think it sells itself.
Yeah, I like the Halloween one.
Yeah. Snowy Day. I have seen, like I said, I like I call it Snowy Day. It's Snow Day. I have to change that. Snow Day. I like the DSP and everything that's in the mini. It just wasn't in my, say, top 5.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm seeing a lot of people use that, which makes me think many people will gravitate to the Snow Day scrapbooking kit. I've chosen the reindeer memories. I think for Christmas scrapbooking, that gravitates a little bit more to me than snow days, but snow days might be a good like January, February time. So
Well, and what I'm thinking for you now too, instead of buying everybody one, what if you do 50-50?
oh,
And that way people, I mean, they still only get one. So, you know, like Jackie might get the reindeer and I might get the snow day, vice versa. But that way you're showing 2 of the scrapbooking kits
mhm,
instead of just one.
yeah.
And it just came to mind. I mean,
And I
and
guess
people are going to just have to get what they get. I mean, if they want to swap with their neighbor kind of thing, because I wouldn't let them choose.
right, because that could be
Yeah.
chaos, especially if something runs out.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was thinking too, because I'm like, I mean, I know you're getting on at, 2 a.m., but how many other people are, and
Yeah.
how many of these things going to sell out quickly, and stuff? Because I plan on buying some of it
Mm-hmm.
just so I can
Well,
show, because I do have one customer who is a scrapbooker, but I also kind of want to, I wish the Halloween DSP was already in the catalog because I'm already planning my class in September for Halloween. So by the time I get this paper, it might be too
a
late
little bit late. Yeah.
to showcase it and stuff like that. But
Right.
because yeah, you can still use the 12x12 paper
Now,
to
I'll have
make
to
cards.
think about that. My off the top of my head is you always get those couple of people who don't get what they want and they're not satisfied to just you get what you get and you don't throw a fit.
Exactly. That's what I would
The
say.
other thing is the price points.
Oh, are they different?
Because, yes, they're all different price points, and this came up
I
during
couldn't
the
remember what the
Facebook Live
prices were.
because they don't necessarily all contain the same
Right.
element.
Yeah, some of them I noticed. Yeah,
So
I
like
kind of went through
Reindeer
the list.
Memories is 37. Snow Day is 25. I think Halloween is maybe 27, 28, something like that. And Autumn is 42. So that would present a bit of a problem. But I will give that some thought. See if there's a way around that. Yeah, I'm not sure.
But if the one's a little less expensive, I don't know, you could throw in because if you're trying to keep everybody at getting the same
Yeah,
price, you could throw in a thing of adhesive or
yeah. This for this
some
particular
some
one,
rhinestones or something.
$12. Yeah, let me give that some thought. I think I'll stick with my plan of getting, and that's one thing too. I don't know if they will change it in the future, but and I understand why they didn't offer demonstrators a pre-order this time. I truly 100% understand. But in the future, that may be easier to work out if I can
Yeah.
sort of work on the kits ahead of time, pre-order
yeah.
them and work on them. Whereas now I'm like, and I had something else planned that I was going to do. And then I thought, this is brand new product. Why would I not
Hmm.
do this? So I do, it's I am going rogue. It's not what some people are, used to getting, but I'm also helping it maybe scrapbooker saying, hey, I really like that idea.
Hmm.
And card makers saying, yeah, I really like those. Sometimes I'll use the scrapbook pages, but sometimes I want to use it to make cards.
Mhm.
That's my hope.
I like the idea.
So we'll see how it turns out. Um, in the meantime, we have 6 spots open. If you know of anybody,
Okay. I saw your email.
Beth is babysitting her granddaughter that
I
weekend.
saw
but
that.
She says she's going to pop in and see us, which will be fun. Who are the 2 new people? A friend of,
Oh, and I don't know if you want to
Career.
stop the recording.
oh, it's okay.
Okay.
I'm almost done, but a friend of, because maybe people watching will
Oh,
want to,
true.
they want to come to the Creative Escape weekend with us because it's always fun. Or they know somebody who might be
Wants to
interested.
go.
But a friend of Peggy Carrier's,
Okay.
Stacy, her daughter, I think it was Stacy, actually had talked to the friend, or Peggy had talked to her friend, but she doesn't do all the tech stuff. So Stacy takes care of that, Stacy and Rhonda. And so her friend decided to sign up. And then on this new Scrapbook Retreat Facebook group, which Christine is on, and she's doing a great job advertising her new venue, even though they just broke ground. Which is awesome. She's way ahead of the game. I made sure to tell her, make sure we're on there. That we want to be one of the first, but it's going to be really neat. She told me, oh yeah, it's going to be really good. I think she's got a really good thing there. But there was a woman on there. She lives in Findlay, Ohio. She is a demonstrator, and she said she likes to go to other people's events so she can do her own thing, which is what you told me so many years back. So she'll be coming. She also says she likes that it's 4-day events because when she travels to places, it just makes it that much more worth her while. She and 2 friends all used to live in Florida. They've all since moved. One to, I believe, Atlanta, one in Arkansas, and then she's up in here in Northwest Ohio. So they're kind of looking for a place in Tennessee where they could all meet kind of equidistant. But she found me and she was like, I don't have anybody to come with, but I'm coming. So she paid in full immediately and I'm excited to have her.
Well,
So,
you should hook her up with Beth because Beth goes to that one retreat that's in Tennessee,
oh
and
yeah,
that's like
that's what I told her. I said,
it's
I've
like
got
5
somebody
times
on
a
my
year.
team that comes to some of my events, and and I said some of her friends or family, I can't remember who all goes.
Well, her and
Her
it's not
sister,
Wanda because
Cindy,
that's Jackie's sister. Why
um,
can't I think of Beth's sister that lives in Tennessee? Cindy. Her and Cindy go.
yes,
And
Cindy,
then her sister that was in Atlanta used to go with them.
yeah,
And I think Lisa is gone, but I'm not sure.
right. I don't know, maybe her daughters at times, but yeah, they have a little group that goes. And I told
Mhm.
her The next time I see Beth, I'll get that information. And I actually said, I think she'll be stopping in. She's not attending this time, but she'll be stopping in at the weekend. So I'm going to introduce them too.
There you go.
I
Yeah.
should tell Beth so she can remind me. Ah, or when you see Beth walk
I
in.
say, I'll
you'll
try and
say,
remember
"Oh,
when I see Beth.
Oh, even when I write things down, it's still whatever. Okay, this was
So,
fun.
okay, cool.
All right,
Thanks.
and to everybody watching replay, thank you for hanging with us. And if you have ideas to share, put them in the comments.
See you later.